I haven't done this in a couple of months on this channel, and I kind of want to switch things up from just the regular debates. So we're going to go back to answering questions for atheists. Yeah, let's see how this goes.
So I've got 3 questions that I want to ask atheists, and these aren't gotcha questions. I sincerely want to know the answer to these questions. First question is, do you believe that God does not exist? So you kind of either have
I already answered it, but no.
that belief or you don't. You either believe that God does not exist or you don't.
False dichotomy. I lack a belief. I don't disbelieve, nor do I believe. I withhold my judgment due to lack of evidence.
If you answered yes to that, then you're ready for the next question. The next question is, do you believe in evidentialism? Evidentialism is the view that your beliefs ought to be proportioned to the evidence. You shouldn't just believe something without evidence. Those are the first 2 questions. You answered yes to both of those. Yes. If you have the belief that God does not exist, and you also believe in evidentialism, you're ready for the third question. The third question is, what is your evidence that justifies your belief that God does not exist?
So first of all, I don't disbelieve in God, but even if we did say we don't believe in God and we disbelieve in God, that's still a negative claim. It's not a positive claim requiring evidence. You are the one, we are disbelieving in an unproven claim. We don't have to defend ourselves in that. You have to defend the claim itself by providing evidence for the claim. You don't get to shift the burden of proof.
Let's suppose that Jesus did what you suggested, and he came right now today, and he was killed in an electric chair, and scientifically confirmed that he was dead, and then he came back to life. Would you then believe God exists and that God had raised Jesus from the dead?
I would find it very odd and peculiar. I wouldn't immediately go, oh, this is the biblical Abrahamic God. I would ask him questions. Hey, Jesus, prove yourself. If he's already here trying to show himself, he would easily prove himself. We then say, okay, by what power did this happen? Well, it's due to my Father. Wonderful. And then we put him into a controlled study and we test him to make sure it's real. Because a lot of people in history have claimed to be Jesus already. This isn't just some random ass hypothetical. People already do this today.
Oh, a very cleverly crafted question. No. Would I believe that Jesus was now alive again? Yes. And that was the thing that I was going to conclude my opening with, was even if we establish the resurrection, we still don't know why or how it happened. I'm not even sure that that would necessarily be sufficient to convince me of a resurrection. It may be. When I say that I'm not sure what...
Yeah, I agree there. It's not sufficient evidence for anything except for a man claiming to be Jesus being able to come back from the dead, which happens daily. Like, people are resuscitated all the time, so it's not magical.
Atheists cannot answer this question. We know time, space, and matter was all created at the Big Bang. But if it was all created at the Big Bang, what caused the Big Bang?
No clue. We have ideas. We have some evidences leading towards theories, but no definitive answer.
The cause would have to be something timeless.
It doesn't have to be timeless. Before the expansion, who's to say there's time at all?
Baseless and immaterial. And the atheist would say,
and why would it have to be immaterial? That makes no sense.
Say, we don't know. So if you don't know, why could it not be God?
It could be God, but there's no reason to think that it was.
And if there is no God,
why couldn't it be fucking aliens? Why couldn't it be unicorns? Why couldn't it be Climate Drive? Why couldn't it be the flying spaghetti monster? Why in the fuck couldn't Harry Potter have done it?
Why is there something rather than nothing at all?
Because that's the way it is.
Scientifically, and just looking around you, look, if I said to you as we sit in this huge building, I see no evidence of a builder, you'd
This is a straw man.
think that's crazy.
We have evidence for builders making buildings. It would be illogical to think that a building existed without a builder. We have no evidence for a creator for the universe, so it is logical to accept and assume that there may not be one.
I think if you watch a debate between a Christian and an atheist, you will see that the vast majority of the stuff that comes off the atheist side is sarcasm and self-righteous posturing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when someone believes in Santa Claus as a full-grown adult.
Greetings. I would like to share with you what I think are the two best questions to ask an atheist. I was evangelizing yesterday and I asked a young man, what do you think will happen to you after you die? He said,
Absolutely nothing.
nothing. I asked him, do you believe in God? And he
There's no evidence for one.
said, no. And I said, why?
Because there's no evidence for one.
Question number one to ask an atheist is to politely ask them, why don't you believe in God? He didn't have a good answer. He didn't have any answer, actually. And then I shared with him, could I please share with you two facts that I think proves there is a God? He said, sure. I said, your eyes.
Eyes are explained by evolutionary biology. There's no aspect of a God doing it.
Your two eyes are all the proof you need to know that there is a God. To quickly summarize, they're much too complex to have happened by
Complexity shows lack of designer. Occam's razor.
chance. I'm pleased to say after we talked for a while, he prayed to be forgiven and make Jesus Christ the Lord of his life. So don't be afraid, be polite.
That was it.
Why is altruism, as you put it, or caring for one another, a good thing?
It's a social ideology. We evolved sympathy and empathy as social creatures, and we need each other to survive.
Who said?
It's not necessarily who said, it is what is. We are altruistic. There is no need for someone to say that it is a good thing. It is what we are.
But if Hitler or Stalin comes along and says, I don't want to be altruistic, I want to be selfish and take everything for myself, and if I have to kill you to do that, I'm going to do that, why is that
It's not objectively wrong, it's subjectively. All morals are subjective.
objectively wrong?
Because he is not taking care of other people.
Who said it's... Where are you getting this standard to this objective standard?
I don't believe in objective morals, but we could still argue for objective morals based on evolution, biology, psychology, through natural means of axioms. Morals aren't an axiom, which is why it's not objective. But that's how it would be objective. It would be natural.
The reason I cannot be an atheist, say there is no God, is because there are 6 miracles that every atheist believes in. But there's no miracle worker. First miracle. Existence comes from non-existence.
This is what Cliff is saying. People think this is a good argument. Science doesn't say that.
The Big Bang.
The Big Bang didn't come from nothingness. Have you guys ever fucking opened a book?
Second miracle that my atheist friends believe in is order comes from chaos.
Chaos theory actually proves beyond reasonable doubt that there is order.
Third miracle that my atheist friends believe in. Life comes from non-life.
This is proven in labs to be possible. We have found out that inorganic materials can become organic through enzymes and chemical reactions based in early Earth environment, and the enzymes turn into RNA, and RNA turns into DNA, and DNA becomes single-celled organisms, and so on and so forth, until you have what we are today. So it is possible. I'm not saying that it is the truth, but we do have evidence for inorganic becoming organic.
Fourth miracle my atheist friends believe in is the personal comes from the non-personal. Fifth miracle that my atheist friends believe in is
English?
Reason comes from non-reason.
Reasoning is using your senses to make reason or sense of things. Observing, listening, thinking about it from your own perspective, and making sense of it with your own perspective.
And sixthly, my atheist friends have a sixth miracle they believe in, and that is morality comes from matter.
Morality is based on evolutionary biology and psychology.
That's a miracle.
Okay, a miracle is something that is against the laws of nature and undemonstratable by science. So no, none of those are miracles.
I know my dad's a pastor, and so I've had an emotional bias, I think, towards the Christian faith. But I've had to try and move outside of that emotional bias as much as possible to look at the true evidence of whether he exists, whether he was a charlatan, a quack, a schizophrenic, or God himself. And then I have to look at the alternative.
So my first thought is none of those are testable claims because the science to test those claims didn't exist until now, and we can't go back in time to test those things.
All right, well, if atheism's true, you're never going to see your dad again. All right, if atheism's true,
That's the beauty of there not being anything. We have one life to enjoy the people that we love, to enjoy the things that we love.
you just came from nothing and you're going
We did not come from nothing. My parents had sex 25 years ago.
nowhere, and you were an accident, you're just a bag of chemicals. There isn't anything that at least real like love. It's just neurochemicals
Love is a chemical reaction in the brain.
in your mind. That's all there is. And so if we were created, or maybe weren't created, if at least we understand the two most important drives are to be loved and to love in this world, and I believe that that's exactly what it is. We need that psychologically. Well, where did that come from? God of the universe, humbly.
Evolution of biology and psychology as social creatures too. We fear the unknown, and we cannot survive without one another. We literally need each other for our own survival.
Himself to being the point of a human being and suffering with you in the most immense amount of way imaginable.
That was a lot of words for not a lot of points. I'm going to leave it there. If you guys do enjoy this type of video, let me know, and I can throw a few of these out per week. Appreciate you guys. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video and comment below. I want you to comment which one of these videos, which one of these arguments were the most ridiculous in your opinion. Or if you have a better argument,